From the Sky News Weather Centre, this is the 10-minute briefing.
Good morning. Thanks for your company live here on Sky News Weather. Welcome to the 10-minute briefing. I'm Emma Ralph, joined by meteorologist Tristan Myers.
It's not Tom anymore, it's Tristan. How about that? We really tripped you out there. We're going to be talking today about what's going to be happening over the north of the country. That tropical low right now is threatening to turn into a severe tropical cyclone over the next 24 hours. We'll break that down for you, show the latest watch warning areas, what it means for you. Then we're going to take a look a little bit further ahead about that wet, cool change coming. And, of course, an update on what's happening in my home state of California later.
Ahead of that change, though, it is going to be a very warm day throughout the southeast, so let's take a look at the temperatures. It has already reached 27 degrees in Adelaide, 22 right now in Melbourne, Hobart, 21 degrees. Temperatures have also been well above average throughout much of Queensland, particularly in western districts. Longreach already 31.2 degrees.
Yeah, very, very warm start to the day indeed. Let's take a look at just one radar imagery we got today, and this is what's happening over the north of the country. There's Broome there. You can see the small enclosed, not quite an eye as yet, but definitely a center of circulation there. And we're seeing bands of rain, heavy showers and storms impacting parts of the western Kimberley right now.
Now, we have already seen thunderstorms firing up around Broome, and with that we are getting some pretty spectacular photos. Beautiful sky there, and check out that lightning bolt.
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing. So this is obviously ahead of the tropical low. The system itself is still strengthening. It is below tropical cyclone status, but gusts are up to 85 kilometers an hour as of the latest warning, which is 5 kilometers below the threshold required for a tropical cyclone. So it's very close to turning into one.
Now, with the warning in place, it does mean we are expecting those gales to develop in the next 24 hours. We do have a warning currently in place in Western Australia here in that shading of red. It does extend from Cape Leveque down to Party Roadhouse, and it does include Broome in that warning area, Tristan.
Absolutely. So Broome, this will be the second time in about 3 weeks you've been hit, at least, at the very least, a glancing blow, but it was pretty hard hit by Hilda. This one will probably bring worse impacts because it's looking to be a bit stronger than the last one. And you can see that watch area extending as far to the west as Port Hedland. But I should say there's a high amount of uncertainty with this forecast track. There is still a lot of model variability here, and we could see it skirt the coast, or we could see it making landfall sometime tomorrow. Here's one of the models, what they think of it. Heavy rain developing today across the western Kimberley, extending to the Wallal Downs and Pilbara region. Overnight and into tomorrow, gusty and gales developing today, likely for western parts of the Kimberley, including the Broome area. Destructive winds may develop between Beagle Bay and Wallal Downs, including Broome, later on Thursday, if it goes close enough to the coast and develops quick enough. So we'll keep a close eye on it. It's a very slow-moving system, only moving southwest at about 9 kilometers an hour.
There is a chance that it could make landfall as a Category 3, is that correct?
Yeah, so severe tropical cyclone, Category 3 or above. But again, high amount of model uncertainty with this. Very difficult to predict. What we can do is show you the latest warnings, watches, and observations and see how they're relevant to you.
Now, we did see some severe thunderstorms firing up in New South Wales last night, and this is what was looking like there on the ground. Inverell picked up around 18 millimetres, or 1.2 millimetres actually for Inverell, wasn't it?
I don't know, I didn't actually look.
A little bit of confusion there. So many numbers this morning, but we did see some heavier falls in northern New South Wales. Around 32 millimetres fell in Buccalla, and we are going to see some more thunderstorms firing up in New South Wales today. So if we take a look at our forecast rain, they will be fairly widespread, staying dry through the southern inland and also around the coast, but around the northwest slopes and plains, they are set to pick up again. Yeah,
absolutely. Showers and storms, heavy rain a risk with any of these showers and storms. Similar to what we saw yesterday, isolated totals could exceed about 15 to 20 millimeters, if not a little bit more than that. They're slow moving, and unfortunately this storm outbreak looks to continue, in fact, intensify tomorrow.
It was Glen Innes that had 18 millimetres. Inverell looked impressive in the photos, but only picked up around 1.2.
There you go.
Now, we are going to take a look at the heat that we are expecting. It is going to be a very warm day across South Australia, Victoria, Western New South Wales and Tasmania. The temperatures are set to soar. Adelaide's on track to see 38 degrees today. We will see a cooler change. Now, that will reach Adelaide by Friday morning, reaching Melbourne later on Friday. So we are going to see those temperatures plummeting. Now, with that, in fact, we are going to see a very cold air mass over Tasmania by Saturday. But with this change it's not going to be a dry one. We actually have plenty of moisture on the way.
Exactly. So people always say, oh, the monsoon's here, the tropical low's here. What does that mean for me in the southeast? Well, this is what it means. Those cool changes are now fairly wet. Band of rain, and ahead of it, showers and storm looks to be severe on Friday across a large area of Victoria and New South Wales. And then we're going to continue to see showers affecting the coastal fringe well into the weekend. So it does look like a wet change. What we're going to see, band of rain, heavy, moderate to heavy, I would say, and then thunderstorms ahead of that by the time we get to the weekend, tending more to showers.
Now stay tuned, we'll take a short break, but when we come back we'll take a look at what it's like on the ground in the wake of those deadly mudslides in Southern California, and we'll also have a look at today's forecast.
So yeah, actually terrible in California what's happened there. Devastation. And on this cyclone, it will be named Joyce, not Irving. I can confirm that.
Thanks for joining us. You're back with us live here on the 10 Minute
That was horrible.
Oh, no, but at least the beach is clear.
Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, for a reason, right? I mean, look at that. That's seaweed and gross.
Well, if you ever want your own patch of sand on Bondi Beach, today is the day.
I guess so. That's not really a big selling point, though.
No, not at all. It's not looking too pleasant at all. Now, of course, we did see some heavy rainfall in Southern California, which led to deadly mudslides. CNN's Paul Veneco caught up with Sky News' Charlotte Mortlock earlier, and this is what he had to say.
If you look behind me, this is where this torrent roared through, knocking houses off their foundation. And then you see in the distance, we've got boulders, and we've got fence, we've got power poles, also trees, parts of houses, all mingled together. Just right there in that debris pile, a search and rescue crew went through in what they call a secondary search. Unfortunately, that translates to a more grim search because that primary search is when they still think that there might be live bodies in there. But when you have a secondary search, unfortunately, you're looking for people who might have been killed. And you can see on a rock, in fact, there's an orange mark. And that's to indicate to anybody else that, yes, we've combed through this and we didn't find anyone in here. The problem is it is really thick and deep, and this goes on forever. And if you've got some time, just let me know. I can show you a little bit more, give you a sense for the enormity of this disaster. Yes, 15 dead, but we have 24 missing, and that spells possibly a much higher death toll. They say 20-something injured, but look at this. You've got work crews feverishly trying to restore water and power, and yet another area of devastation. A house completely knocked off its foundation right here. And then in the distance, you see that car in that strange position. They marked that with orange spray paint as well to show it's been looked over, that they found no one inside. But I will show you right now why this has been so devastating. If you looked up into those mountains right there, that's where the Thomas Fire, the largest fire in California history, burned those mountainsides. This is not a low-rolling coastal plain. This is a rare situation where it goes from 3,000 feet to sea level in just a matter of miles. So when rain spawned in a circle over these mountains the other day and hung up there, it pushed all of those stripped hillsides that had no vegetation whatsoever left to stop it because of the fire. It had that come roaring down all the way to where we are. We're only about, I would say, a mile and change from the ocean. And this is the result. One devastating, heartbreaking wildfire here in Montecito, California.
That was Paul Verkman from CNN there. Absolutely devastating.
It's horrible. And these are things that you don't think about when it comes to fires and their impacts further on. The increased risk of flash flooding highlighted here and what's been happening in California, but also water supplies could get contaminated because of fires. You get so much smoke going in the air that they float and drift and settle in dams and water resources areas, and then a whole bunch of water resources that Californians or anyone might use is completely contaminated, and also might unfortunately lead to less oxygen levels in those waters as well, and it becomes tepid, and there's just a lot of impacts to these fires, and I think they're still going to realize them over the next few months. But this is absolutely horrible. My dad's in Southern California, and he's keeping me up to date with what's happening there, and it is not looking very good.
No, not at all. Now back on home soil, let's take a look at our forecast around the country. In Queensland, temperatures staying warm.
Yeah, staying very warm, well above average yet again. And then in New South Wales, those thunderstorms likely this afternoon on the central and northern tablelands. One or two of them could push towards the coast, otherwise it'll be a partly cloudy day throughout most regions. Hot in the west, though. Victoria seeing a hot day throughout with those northerly winds, increasing cloud cover over the west during the afternoon and evening. Tasmania also a nice warm day, mostly sunny throughout the entire of the Apple Isle. 28 in Hobart, 24 in St. Helens. If you get a shower, it'll be less than a millimeter. For South Australia, a very hot day throughout. Cooper Pedy in the mid-40s, down to Mount Gambier in the mid-30s. Rain and clouds developing later in the day with thunderstorms stretching from the area to the pastorals later. A cold front is going to be clipping the southwest land division today, bringing a change in winds to the southwesterly, a few showers to the southwest. And there's that tropical low threatening to turn into a tropical cyclone, impacting regions such as Broome, of course, much of the Kimberley, and eastern parts of Pilbara.
Now stay tuned, we will of course be tracking the progression of that tropical low. We'll also keep you up to date with all of your latest weather information, and don't forget to tune in at 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for your next 10-minute briefing.
We'll see you soon.